Hi guys, FM Campbell here and welcome to another episode of the Man United series that we're currently playing. If you do enjoy the episode, feel free to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe if you do enjoy the content. I'm not going to force you, it's completely up to you. So you're probably thinking, first of all, why the hell was the Sweden and France badges in front of us? And you might spot in the corner that the France bit up there. We were actually offered the job by Italy, France and Holland, or Netherlands, to take control of the national team. So I thought, okay, well I've got quite a lot of French players. I kind of narrowed it down between France and Italy. And we've only recently taken control, so I haven't actually played a game with them yet. The last time they played, they lost 1-0 to Romania in the European Championship second round. And they were obviously knocked out in that. So I'm guessing the manager was sacked, possibly. So yeah, as you can see, we've got Sweden in our first World Cup qualifications. We're in Group 2. Other teams in our group, we've got quite a nice group actually. Andorra, ourselves, Georgia, Poland, Sweden and Switzerland. So yeah, going forward that we should have a good chance of qualifying. I'd like to finish top of the group ideally. I know Switzerland aren't a bad team, but we should be really expected to finish top of the group with the team that we have. The reason why I took the France job is I actually have a lot of French players at Man United currently, and I thought, well, if there's ever a time where I need to rest them and just sort of benefit myself in the United series, I would do so. So that's the reason I took the France job. We're going to see where it goes. If it gets in the way, I can always just resign and just stick to being Man United manager. Ideally I'd like to be England manager really, but unfortunately I think they've got AVB in charge at the moment, who's not doing too badly. So we'll go to the Man United save, and probably the first thing to do is let you know, transfer-wise, what has happened. So this would have been throughout August. So we've had a couple of free transfers join us since. I'm trying to think when we left you. So it's been the end of January in 2016. So this has all happened since. So we have quite a lot of business gone on really. We've spent an awful lot of money, but Man United team needed a lot of money spending. So we'll go with the outgoings first. Actually, let's go with the ingoings. So we've got Matt Fonseca on a free. He is a regen. Looks to be quite a good player. Good potential. So we'll see how he gets on and how he progresses. Then, funny one, I just need to cover it right back because I decided to sell Peruzzi, and because Carl Jenkinson was English and he was on the transfer list, I decided to go for him. And he's not actually that bad, to be honest with you. He's 24 years old still. He's only on 20 grand a week. He's English, which is a bonus. 4.1 million in value. So if I do decide to sell him in the future, he is going to be a half decent turnaround at least. I've got him on a long contract as well, so if I can get his value up over time, it will be ideal. But he's not a too bad player sort of across the board, really. I was actually quite pleased with that. Then we've got Adama Traore. Now, little sort of warning to you, get this guy in the first season because I think he goes for really, really cheap. So if we looked at him now, yeah, look, 1.6 million he went for to Ajax from Barcelona B. So go and get him in the first season. But he looks to be a very, very good winger. Bright future ahead of him, as you can see. So I'd like to see maybe what I could do with him, especially potentially bring him into first team. He was expensive, 11.75 million for a 20-year-old. He's on 45 grand a week. His value's already gone up, and he looks to be an absolute baller. Munir, probably the best young striker on the game. Yes, I have coughed up big time for him, but we've been given the money, and to be honest with you, I needed players in the first team straight away because the United team, as you know, are sort of past it, getting a little bit old. Are on a lot of money themselves anyway. So with the outgoings of Van Persie, Rooney and Falcao, I decided to bring Munir in to join up with Lukaku and Zivkovic as well. Then we've got Alessandro Sergolini, who is a regen as well. Very, very bright future ahead of this guy. 16 years old. He's on a youth contract, so he's on £80 a week. 925k in value. He's finishing 15 already. He's determination 19. Very good physical stats for his age. Obviously his technique probably. There's a couple of places that need working on, but you will get that. But he is going to be a great player in the future. So now, there's a couple of players that decided to get in a lift to make some money. Cristiano Biraghi signed him on a free. His value's already gone up to 5.5 million. He's a left back, probably never going to play for me. He's already gone out on loan to Roma. 24 years old, 22 grand a week. All of that money's been paid by Roma. And obviously he's Italian. Hopefully we can make some money on him. But yeah, he signed on a free from Inter. We also continue to raid Inter. Alfred Duncan, you may remember him as a great player on FM14. He's on 15 grand a week. He's already gone out on loan to Burnley. 23 years old. He is from Ghana. But yeah, looks to be a very good player again. Good ball winning midfielder. Half sort of bright future ahead of him. Hopefully we can make some money in the future. Ruben Neves, wanted to get this guy in the first season, and I tried over and over and over again. And he went out on loan and didn't want to play for me. Well, he did want to play for me, but the club wouldn't release him, so Porto wouldn't release him to me. 19 years old, still very, very young. Still got a lot of work to do. Ideally, I'd like to get him into the first team next season. He's signed him for 17 million from Porto, and we've now loaned him out since then to Benfica. So that's a little bit awkward for them. Physical attributes, not too bad. His mental attributes are ridiculously good, and his technical does need a little bit of work too. He's only on 8 grand a week, but he did cost a lot of money. So 6 foot as well, which is good, and he's going to be a very good anchor man in the future. Then we signed possibly one of the best centre backs in the game, youngster-wise. Now I really ummed and ahed over this one because in previous FMs and on this FM, according to my scout reports, he is injury prone. So I thought I'd risk it anyway. I had the money to spend, and he is not injury prone since joining, which I am absolutely chuffed to bits about because he is so good. We coughed up a lot of money, 50 million for him. 23 years old for it. He's just across the board absolutely awesome. Such a good player. It was between him and Hummels, but then when they're asking for 109 million, I think I got it to the lowest for Hummels. We could have paid for it, but it's just silly money really. Especially when it's over double and he's what, nearly 28 on the game. Then we signed probably the second best young centre-back on the game, also French. Imagine when these two are playing in the France team. Kurt Zouma from Chelsea. I wanted this guy for ages and ages and ages as well. I had him unhappy at Chelsea from pretty much the get-go, the start of the save. 21 years old, Kurt Zouma, 58 grand a week. We signed him for 42 million, so a little bit cheaper than Varane. But look at that, jumping of 17. The strength is 19, determination 20. He's got heading of 17 already, tackling of 17. His marking 16, his position is great. His work rate is across the board. His balance is incredible. He's just... he's one of my favourite players on FM. He honestly is, and he's going to be a baller in real life as well. Then we need cover at left back. Andrew Robertson came in. He is from Scotland, signing from Hull. I had to pay a little bit of money for him. Paid 12.5 million in the end for him. But across the board, he looks to be a very, very good player. He's only on 17 grand a week, and he is going to be my cover for Luke Shaw, basically. Then look at this. Jesse for 3.6 million. He was in the Real Madrid reserves on the transfer list. 3.6 million. Yes, I've had to cough up 100 grand a week for him. But if I can get him out on loan to a big club, I reckon I can make possibly 25, at least maybe 20-25 million profit on him. Because he is a very, very good player. He's very young, Spanish. Probably going to be breaking into the Spain team, although he's not likely to play for me with the likes of Zivkovic, Munir and Lukaku up top. His report's not too bad. He's obviously, the development's sort of slowed because he hasn't been playing for Real Madrid. He's been in the reserves. But yeah, 3.6 million for Jesse, absolute bargain. Then we got Josue, again another bargain. 3.2 million off the transfer list. He's 25 years old, 6.5 million in value now already, 40 grand a week. And look at those technical stats, absolute baller. He can play across the front three. He's very, very versatile in the attacking midfield position. Predominantly a left winger though. But yeah, he's not a bad player at all. I'm surprised that I haven't gone for players like him previously anyway. But yeah, absolute bargain, so hopefully you can make some money on him as well. David Sanson. This is the only guy I've ever seen on telly control Cristiano Ronaldo in a game against Inter Milan, I think it was. Yeah, 25 years old. We signed him very, very cheap from Arsenal. I like him because he's good cover for right and left back. 3.6 million, so his value is already 5 million. 25 years old, as I said. He's only on 41 grand a week. If I decide not to keep him, I'll probably loan him out and try and make some money on him in the future. So that's all the ingoings. We spent a total of 193 million, but hopefully I can make a good amount of that back with Biragi, Duncan, Jesse, Josue, and Davide Santon, maybe Carl Jenkins in the future as well. See what happens. But outgoings, we've made 130 million total, and this is how we did it. So Traore's gone out on loan. He's gone back to Ajax on loan for the season, and we sold Hatem Ben Arfa finally for 10 million to Ruben Kazan. He's now gone, which I'm very, very happy about. It's weird that he has that photo, by the way, because he's not allowed to play for Nice. Wilfred Zaha we sent out on loan. Hopefully we're going to make some money on him soon. I doubt he will ever play for us full time, similar to real life as well. Paddy McNair's gone out on loan. Hopefully make some money. Basically all these loan players are a lot of them to make money. James Weir to Accrington, Vermeil to Brentford, Pereira to Crewe, Mackay Stephen to Forest, Angelo Henriquez has gone to Amcar. He's a strange one, he is. He's very, very hard to gain interest in loan-wise, but he's still a very good player. Sam Johnston went to QPR for 2.5 million, decided to let him go. Was never going to play for us. No one wanted him on loan, weirdly, but I managed to sell him. Alfred Duncan, as you know, has gone out on loan. James Wilson's gone to Derby. His development's slowed quite a bit as well, so we'll see what happens with him in the future. Leandro Paredes, who we signed on a free last year, has gone out on loan to Panathinaikos. Jesse Lingard to West Ham. Hopefully make some money on him very soon. Humam Tariq finally got a work permit and he's gone on loan to Young Boys. Roberto Pereira, you may remember us signing on a free in the 1st January, who had joined at the beginning of the season, of the second season anyway. We managed to sell him for £22 million to AC Milan, so a nice healthy profit. Bearing in mind he probably didn't even play for the club for even a week, if you like. George Dorrington's gone to Hereford. Cristiano Biragi, as we said, has gone to Roma. Josh Harrop to Fleetwood. Willock to Mansfield. Tyler Blackett's gone to Derby. Savic, the goalkeeper, to Go Ahead. Pereira to Preston. Ben Pearson to Peterborough. Dimitri Mitchell to Northampton. Will Keane to Sheffield Wednesday. Gina Peruzzi, as you can see. So we made a nice profit on him. Sold him for 15 million to Roma. Signed him for 3.5, sold him for 15, just over 2 years later. Leonardo Bittencourt, I was a little bit disappointed with him because he went out on loan and his development's really, really decreased. So maybe, hopefully, just use him to look some money in the future. But I believe we splashed out on him. 8.75 million. His value has gone up to 11.75. Hopefully, we can make some money in the future. Then we've got Ryan McConnell's gone to on loan to Grimsby. Borthwick Jackson to Burton Albion. Zakaria Bakali, hopefully look to get him in the first team very, very soon. Signed him on a free. His value is 8.25 million. Playing in the Premier League for Reading. Sean Goss to Morecambe. Carl Bartley, we finally got on loan. We're going to make some money on him. Signed him on a free last year. He's gone to Charlton. Fonseca, as I said, has gone to PAS Giannina. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Fasu Mensah has gone to Scunthorpe. Tom Thorpe to Leyton Orient. Michael King to Hull. Sedi Janko to Millwall. All Cheek to Palermo. Hopefully look to get him back and possibly playing in the future. Gustavo to AIK went for $1 million. Now, this is not that great looking, to be honest with you. His physical attributes are very good, but he's pretty poor everywhere else. Now, I sold him for £1 million to AIK because he wanted a 28 grand a week contract. Bearing in mind he's currently on a youth contract with these guys. He wants 28 grand, wanted 28 grand a week, so I said no. And if I didn't sell him, I was going to make no money on him. He was just going to leave on a free at the end of the season. So I sold him, I made £1 million, thought, okay, that's fine. But the uproar in the squad, Paul Pogba is the biggest pain in my backside I think I've ever had on this FM. He's constantly unhappy. In fact, if I go to the squad now, Pogba, unhappy. What a shock. So, Arsenal, unhappy at the sale of Gustavo. Has he seen Gustavo? What's wrong with him? Look at him. He's not even all that. He's Brazilian. he's not like a good mate of Paul Pogba's or anything like that. It's just very, very strange. And not just to mention, the whole squad is just like, oh, I agree. Oh, let's have a look. For instance, Royce, what's wrong with him? Thinks Paul Pogba is right. Gustavo shouldn't have been sold. Gustavo wasn't all that. I think it was 2.5-star potential. Just it's nightmare. Anyway, moving on. Joe Raphael's gone to Warsaw. Maximovic to Stoke. Remember, we'll sign him on a free. Hopefully, going to make some money on him in the future. He's gone on loan to Stoke. Mattia Perrin to Palace. Kakuta to Wigan. Andre Almeida we signed on a free. He's gone to Braga. Kevin Long to Huddersfield on a free. Coquelin's gone to Montpellier. Stevanovic to Watford. Remember, these are all players that we signed in the first season on a free. The other Stevanovic has gone to Catania. Mauricio Older to Volga. Wellington Alexander to Volga. Powell's gone to Cardiff. Michael Carrick managed to make some money on. He's gone to Udinese. Decided to let him go and cut our losses. Moaning about a contract, and just wanted to make some money on it on him before his contract ran out. Reece James gone to Chesterfield. Ruben Neves has gone to Benfica, as I said. Wayne Rooney decided to sell. He sold for 25 million. His performances, I mean, even at Real Madrid, look, his performances are just dropping off. And his wages were ridiculously high for someone that was actually second choice to Lukaku in the end. So I decided to cut my losses and let him go. I refused to sell him in England. Chelsea wanted him, Arsenal wanted him. Who else wanted him? I think that was it, just Chelsea and Arsenal. But I decided to let him go there. And Herrera we decided to let go for 25 million. Just because his wages were reasonably high. And he wasn't playing enough, and sometimes he was saying about first team football. And although he's my boy, I love him, and he should be playing for United more often in real life. I decided just to let him go and encourage getting some younger players through for the first team. Fellaini decided to cut our losses. He just wasn't performing wherever he went, including Ruben Kazan. And we've decided to let him go for 8.25 million just to get him off the wage bill. Johnny Evans, we managed to sell for 19 million to Fiorentina. Again, just decided to let him go, especially with Varane and Zuma coming in. Ben Amos has gone on loan to Millwall, and then Darryl Clark, who hopefully will be our future right back. Looks like an absolute baller. I was going to have him for my cover at right back, but it depends if I can see what happens with Carl Jenkinson, and then he'll maybe come in as second choice to Raphael. So that's how it went down externally. Well, selling players, 130 million sold in total. We still have a nice, healthy amount of transfer budget left over, right up to 118 million if we wanted it. So yeah, I mean the squad's pretty much invested in across the board. If we have a look now, we've got two keepers. We've got David De Gea and Ronnie Barber. Ronnie Barber looks like he's going to be a very good goalkeeper in the future. Raphael, a right back, will cover Carl Jenkinson. Luke Shaw at left back with Robertson as the cover in the middle. Santon that can cover both sides. But I'm guessing he'll probably moan. We tried to sell Marcus Rojo, but unfortunately there was no interest in him. So even on loan, so hopefully we'll sell him in the future. Our four main centre backs, we've got Varane, Zuma, Phil Jones and Balanta. Probably the four best centre backs on the game. All nice and young as well, 23, 24, 21 and 23. At the minute, because Carrick left, I decided to keep Blind, not as cover for left back anymore. He's now our cover at defensive midfield, where we play him or Strootman. Obviously, he can play in the middle as well, as both as deep line playmakers. Then on the right hand side of the centre midfield, the left hand side of the centre midfield, we would have as a ball winning midfielder or a central midfielder. We've got Pogba as first choice and Romero as second choice. Then in central attacking midfield, obviously got Mata as first choice, and Tielemans is the reason that we actually decided to let Herrera go. I'm going to try and get him playing in the first team because he is potentially one of the best centre midfielders on the game. Then on the right hand side, now we've got quite a couple of predicaments here. We've got on the right hand, well, for the front three, we've got a choice of Chamberlain, Di Maria, Januzaj, Royce. So I mean, I've been playing Royce on the right predominantly, and then Di Maria or Januzaj on the left. Currently Di Maria is first choice with Januzaj as cover because Januzaj is still developing. And on the right we've got Marco Royce, and then either or Oxide Chamberlain as cover as well. But I do tend to play Chamberlain inside in the 10 sometimes because he is a very, very good player in there. obviously, but Juan Mata would be our first choice. But we'd see what happens with Royce, Mata, and Di Maria going forward, because they're 27 and 28 years old, and they're on a lot of money. And with players like Adama Traore, Bakali coming in, they could edge these sort of players out. So Januzaj could become first choice on the left, Chamberlain on the right, or in the middle, or Tielemans in the middle, and then maybe get some cover, some younger cover as well. And then obviously up top we've got our big man, our absolute beast, Lukaku, who's he's so good. He scored 6 in 5, still only 23 years old. He's still got 4 years left in his contract, and he's just unstoppable, absolute unit. Then we've got Zivkovic and Munir as backup, probably predominantly Munir as my second choice, especially with the amount of money we spent on him. But yeah, great front three. Maybe look at Zivkovic, potentially what we might do with him. Reactive value probably agrees with Pogba, yeah. But yeah, we might see what we want to do with him in the future, and maybe try and get a regen in or something. So under 21s, most of these will be out on loan as the list went on. Couldn't get rid of Varela, listed on loan as well. Zuma's just available for the reserves. Gaston Gil Romero, very struggled to get him out on loan as well, which is weird, because he's a very good player. I actually considered maybe having him as a deep line playmaker or retraining him, but he probably wouldn't fit the role too well. But yeah, still a very, very good player. Josue, we struggled to get out, but hopefully we can get him out in January. Same with Raam Amond, couldn't get him out. We signed him on a free, trying to make some money on him. And then Jesse as well, who's currently sat in the reserves on 100 grand a week, which is frustrating. But when players join the club, first of all, it's very hard to get them straight back out on loan, unless you loan them back to the same club that they came from, but sometimes they don't pay their wages. So we'll see what happens with Jesse. Hopefully get him out on loan in January. So, how's the season gone? Well, we'll have a look. We left you on the 31st of January, which is the West Ham game. So that was the last game we did. So as you can see, we went on a nice run, plenty of wins. So we had Swansea, we were beaten 4-1 away. There was Lukaku, Royce, Januzaj and Herrera scoring. Then we played in the Premier League, Cardiff away. Lukaku scored an own goal to complete the result of 2-0. Then we got Rotherham in the 5th round of the FA Cup, where we beat them 4-0. Johnny Evans, Zivkovic, Chamberlain and Januzaj. As you can see, we played a second string team. Then we had, look at this, 5-1 we managed to beat Real Madrid at home, absolutely hammered them. Pogba scored 2, Royce scored 2, and Chamberlain scored 1. There was a spoiler alert on Twitter about that, but I was just absolutely buzzing because they were the favourites and we absolutely battered them. Phil Jones was also sent off in the 89th minute. Then we had we had actually a string of tough games here. City we beat 2-1 away at the Emirates, Pogba with 1 and Royce with 1. And then we beat Liverpool away at Anfield 4-2. Balanta with 1, Lukaku, Pogba and Chamberlain. Then we had a bit of a you can check this episode out if you want. I played this game live, where we played Everton in the Capital One Cup final. The link will be in the description if you want to check it out. We drew 3-3, but managed to nick it on penalties. Zivkovic with 2 and Balanta with 1. We played a second string team because I was playing a second string team the majority of the time throughout this competition. Then Newcastle we beat 4-1, so carrying on our winning ways. Johnny Evans with 1, Lukaku with 2. And Ben Arthur with 1 with a rare appearance. I was trying to get his value up. Then Swansea we beat 4-1. Plenty of 4-1s today. We actually beat them 4-1 as well in the Premier League. Beat them 4-1 in the FA Cup 6th round. Januzaj with 2, Royce with 1 and Herrera with 1. Then away at the Bernabeu, we drew 2 with Real Madrid. So 2 away goals and we managed to beat them. So what would that make it? 7-3 on aggregate, and the goals come from Royce and Di Maria. Then Aston Villa, after a first draw in a long time, we beat 3-2 at Villa Park. Balanta with 2 and an own goal. Then Arsenal we beat 4-3 in a very, very tight game. Di Maria with 2 goals, Royce and Lukaku as well. But yeah, that was at the Emirates, so very, very happy with that. Carrying on our winning ways in the Premier League, QPR we beat 3-0. Lukaku, Royce and Chamberlain, plenty of clean sheets. When we beat a Stoke team with another clean sheet, we beat them 4-0 this time. Lukaku with one, Royce and Chamberlain, and then it was an own goal as well. Then, as you can see, our first loss since the 30th of December. We lost to our arch rivals Liverpool. We lost 3-2 away at Anfield in the quarter-final, first leg of the Champions League. Balanta scored and Zivkovic scored, which was a little bit disappointed about, but we managed to get 2 away goals, and that proved to be very helpful in the second leg. But first of all, we went to Norwich. Well, we played at Old Trafford against Norwich. 4-3 result win against them with a second-string team. And it was a Lukaku hat-trick and a Ben Arthur goal again, another rare appearance. And then Liverpool, we managed to batter them at home at Old Trafford 6-1 to finish the result that would make it 8-4 on aggregate? Yeah. The goal scorers, 6. It's just 6. It's crazy. It was an own goal. Zivkovic, Royce, Chamberlain, Di Maria, and Carrick, a rare goal from Carrick as well. So we absolutely walked all over him. We then continued winning ways in the Premier League, where we beat Everton 2-1. Rooney and Januzaj scoring. Rooney against his old club. Rooney had actually had a big injury throughout this time period. Then we beat a good Southampton team. We beat them 3-2 with a Chamberlain hat-trick against his old previous club from years gone by. And then Southampton, we actually played in the semi-final of the FA Cup and was beaten, and we were knocked out 2-1 at, is Wembley in it? Yeah, at Wembley. Royce with the consolation goal, but we were knocked out of the FA Cup, which I was a little bit disappointed about because I was trying to challenge for every single competition, which was a shame, but that's how it goes. Then we had the semi-final. Now look at the semi-final draw. So let's go new stages. So that's it. So the semi-final, look at this. Bayern, Barca, us and Basel. And we got Basel in the draw. Very, very much luck of the draw. But yeah, we got Basel in the draw. Beat them 3-0 at home. Comfortable win. It was Phil Jones, Rojo and Shaw on the score sheet. And then before the second leg, we played Reading at home. Scraped a 1-0 win with Lukaku scoring. I was a little bit peed off because Lukaku got injured, which means I think that he missed the next game, which he did. We beat Basel then 3-1 in the return leg away. Johnny Evans, Balanta and Januzaj scoring for us. Managed to beat him 6-1 on aggregate and put us in the Champions League final. First of all, though, we had to beat Palace 2-0 to continue our charge with the Premier League, and it was Lukaku and Pogba scoring. And then a live day where it literally went down to the wire. We managed to beat Burnley 1-0, and we actually relied on Everton beating Liverpool. I think they actually, was it a draw? I can't quite remember. It must have been, but yeah. So we managed to beat Burnley 1-0, and then Everton, was it a draw? I'm pretty sure it was a draw. Fixtures and results. I'm pretty sure it was. Let's put this 2015. Where is it? Oh, this is the current. Where are you? Where are you? Here, is this it? No. Where on earth is it? We're trying to find the live day, the last day live. August, that can't be right. May, this must be it. I can't remember. I generally can't remember how it ended. But it went down to the last day, and it literally, Liverpool didn't match my result and actually bettered their result, and we managed to pinch the league by a point against our arch rivals. Our goal difference was -1 difference to them. Chelsea were also in the running, or was it Arsenal? It might be, I think it was Arsenal were also in the running as well. Look at the goal difference. It was just very, very tight, and it was actually 2 points in it in the end from first to third, which was crazy. But yeah, it's a live episode, so that'll be in the link in the description as well, so feel free to check that out. And then finally, the big one, the Champions League final. We managed to beat Bayern 1-0. It was a rare goal from Raphael and it wasn't a great performance, to be honest with you. If we, I don't want to view the match, I want to view the stats. So if you have a look here, Bayern dominated. They had 19 shots against our 9, 7 on target against our 2. We managed to score one of them. They had a lot more possession, well not a lot more, but they had a lot more possession, and to be honest with you, we didn't really deserve it, but we managed to scrape a 1-0 win. Sometimes that's how football goes. But that was also a live episode. Link will be in the description to that. Very, very dramatic, these 3 live episodes with the Champions League final, especially the last day, the drama of the last day, and the Cup to One Cup final as well. So like I said, they're all in the description. So moving on to the next season, after we made our deals, we had a couple of friendlies, which I let my assistant take hold of. It was Glentoran, we beat 3-0. Munir with a hat-trick. Then we lost 1-0 to Lokomotiv Moscow, so no one scored. Then we had a Rooney testimonial against Everton with a Juan Mata hat-trick. Then we had the Community Shield, where we had played Southampton, so these won obviously the FA Cup, so knocked us out and then won it themselves. And we lost on penalties, so bit of a bogey team, Southampton at the moment, but Lukaku scored and Royce scored as well. But Lukaku also missed a penalty, which is really frustrating. Then we had the Super Cup, and we managed to win it. I was going to do a live episode, but I decided not to in the end. But we beat them 3-0. Raphael, Daley Blind and Zivkovic on the score sheet, so good to go and win that. Then our first game of the Premier League, we lost 1-0 to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, so no goal scorers for us. But then after a tough start, especially with Southampton in the Community Shield, Napoli in the Super Cup, Chelsea in the Premier League, then Arsenal in the Premier League, we beat them 3-0. Lukaku with 2 and Juan Mata with 1. And then we just drew recently with Everton, 3-3, a Lukaku hat-trick. Going forward, Lukaku looks to be an absolute worldie of a buy. I cannot recommend a player of his calibre enough. If you can get him, get him. He is so good. Premier League at the minute, he's got 5 goals in 3 games already, but so is Dzeko and Balotelli as well. But yeah, he's just, you just can rely on him. He's so, so good. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's happened. I don't think anything changed staff-wise. We've got a new assistant manager. I got Massimiliano Catini. Decided to let Giggs go because he just wasn't really good enough, to be honest with you. Massimiliano Catini is actually very, very good. Good ability and potential judging. Working with youngsters is good. He's a technical coach, which is ideal for me. Motivating is good. Technical knowledge will do work, but he's only 41. So he's very, very young as well. But yeah, very happy with that. I think that's pretty much all that happened. Is Miranda a new? I think I think one of our goalkeeper coaches retired. Fernando Miranda came in. It looks a very good player as well. I think that's it. I think that's pretty much everything that happened. Ideally, now that we've built a squad and built a first team, I'm going to be concentrating on Regens. So you'll probably see a lot of money being spent. There's a couple of positions that I maybe like to strengthen, especially on the wings with Royce, Di Maria getting old, and Mata's also getting old as well, and slightly declining. And they're all on a lot of money as well, so we'll see what happens there. But I'd like to get a lot of Regens in now and start to build around this team. And I'd maybe like to get a defensive midfielder or a deep line playmaker in defensive midfield to replace Daley Blind, who's been getting a lot of interest from PSG recently, and he's been moaning a little bit. But yeah, see what happens in the future. So get your comments in below. You think what I should do? Maybe think of someone that good on either wing, someone good in the deep line playmaking role. There's a couple of players that I've got in mind for all these positions. But let me know what you think. But yeah, very much I'd start to expect Regens coming in now, and we'll start to build a very, very good team, and maybe see if we can offload some of these players in the reserves as well, because we have an awful amount of players on our books. But yeah, like I said, get your comments in below. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Feel free to leave a like, feel free to subscribe if you're not already. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.